Okay, we are live.
Hey Taylor,
What is it, Art?
are we going to do some reaction?
I think we are.
Are the hacks going to react?
The hacks are going to react to Aladdin.
The Aladdin. Hey everybody, RT Bear here along with Taylor Grosso, and the hacks at Hack Shack Studios are going to react to the new Aladdin trailer. This dropped Tuesday, what was it, the 12th of this week? So as usual, we're always behind on anything topical. But our Mr. Microphone, our Blue Yeti, has been down, and now we have a new one. We actually have a real Blue Yeti now. It's blue, right?
It is. It's literally blue.
Should we just keep BSing until we get people in the chat?
We got a few people. We got Chris Evans is here.
Yay, Chris Evans.
And D Wolfman says, howdy, hacks.
Whenever I say Chris Evans, they go, it's Captain America. And everybody says, he's not Captain America. One day I'm going to meet Chris Evans, and he's actually going to be Captain America.
But at the same time, everybody calls the actor who only did the voice of Darth Vader, Darth Vader. He wasn't even in the suit.
That's true. So are we going to talk about this amazing Oscar Isaac performance as Aladdin?
He looks so youthful.
He looks like Oscar Isaacs there, don't you think?
He's taking care of himself.
Yeah. He actually got in a time machine and went back in time.
There's a little Oscar Isaac energy coming from this unknown actor's face, because I don't know who he actually is.
Maybe we should have done some research.
Well, no, if everybody in the chat could tell us who the actor is.
No one knows who he is.
They'll get brownie points.
So the original movie came out in 92.
Yeah. Did you see it when it first came out?
Oh, hell yeah. I actually bought, you get to walk by it every day. I have some Aladdin drawings from, what animator, Taylor?
Andreas Deja.
Is he your favorite?
I think he's the best one. He did all the villains and stuff, right? It's kind of what he's known for.
He also did Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, of all things. He did the little girl character.
Which is very bizarre, because he did Ursula, right? Or was that, oh my gosh.
I don't know if he did Ursula.
I know he did some, like, key villains. And then Lilo, which is very strange.
Yeah. No, he did a lot of key villains that I'm blanking on right now as well.
Have we ever shown that?
That drawing?
Yeah.
No, maybe, you know what, you guys, we'll take a picture of it. We'll put it up on Twitter after we do this. So, yeah, I got some choice drawings from Andreas Deja.
They're really cool.
Yeah, they're awesome. I got to get those signed.
Usually in the Hack Shack Tour videos, we stop on the Akira piece, because that's what everybody goes gaga over. But I don't know if we usually stop on the Jafar piece.
We never go left. We always go right.
It's true.
Yes. So you want to get on with this?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Hacks react.
By the way, if YouTube is watching this is a reaction video, and don't pull our stream down. Get this full screen here.
Parkour, baby!
Ooh.
That's all you have to do in movies is have them longingly look at each other. You know it's romance.
And it's meant to be.
I can make you rich. Rich enough to impress a princess.
Alright, I'm good so far. How about you?
The settings look really cool.
Bring me the land.
Oscar.
Oh, here we go. Okay, here we
Alright.
It's starting to cross the line now.
There's a lot of gray area in Make Me a Prince. I could just make you a prince. Oh, no.
It didn't sound like him. It sounded like Will Smith.
Am I really stupid, or is that joke not very clear?
I didn't get it. I think that's the funniest part of the movie. Really? Ooh. She's damaged.
Oh.
All right. All right, I'm out.
Oh gosh.
They can't get it back, right?
Where was that? There was ice.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts is up to even the genie stuff does not completely derail it for me. But when she starts singing A Whole New World, and it's not her voice, it's not any of that, it's just tonally it feels weird. It like, you know, it's weird. Like the genie shows up and it doesn't totally derail it. It kind of starts to,
theme.
but it kind of fits. But when she goes off, I don't know. I can believe a genie more than that magic carpet thing and her singing.
Is it? I think when they showed the magic carpet using the maracas, that's when it starts to like cross the line into like Weirdsville.
Oh, in the cave.
Yeah, because they show the monkey playing like a horn, and then they show the carpet shaking maracas, and that was my first initial like uh-oh moment. But it seemed pretty cool up until then.
Yeah, all this beginning part, all this, I think is pretty good. Like, I almost want to see this more as just an action-adventure film.
The setup is cool, and maybe it's because the Aladdin original story is cool, and it's a strong story setup.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't lose me at the genie either. Chris Evans says, wow, the tick was great.
And then this is also, I think it's going to be a problem, because if they're sticking with the cartoon, the animated animals talk. Ooh. But in a cartoon, it works better. But in a live action, is he going to talk?
Well, at least, like, he's a parrot, so at least, I don't know, I have a problem with animals talking in movies in general, even as a kid. Like, stuff like Babe, I always thought was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they make the monkey talk, it's going to go a step too far.
Because he kind of talks in the cartoon, right?
Yeah, he says Aladdin and stuff, and even as a kid I thought that was weird. And that was animated. But
the bird, he full on, he's not just parroting things back, he's actually formulating thoughts, and I mean, he's having conversations.
And it's funny, like, in the cartoon, because Gilbert Godfrey kind of sounds like a parrot anyway.
Yeah.
But we just found out
poor Gilbert did not make the cut.
He got snubbed. He's not doing the voice.
He got snubbed for Alan Tudyk.
Because Alan Tudyk doesn't get enough voice acting.
Yeah. Because Alan Tudyk isn't a troublemaker. Didn't Gilbert get into a bunch of trouble with, like, was it anti-Semitic comments and stuff like that? Like, because he was the Affleck duck.
That's right.
And then he lost his job and everything. Oh, Gilbert.
Oh, that's why we need him, though.
Apparently you can't crack jokes if you're a comedian anymore.
Well, like, Iago's not a good guy.
No, he's not. Yeah.
I don't know. It's sad.
So, yeah, so when the genie shows up, I'm still like, okay. And then there's the joke is like, well, he's not this, right? Then there's the joke.
Oh, no.
And so then right here, I'm like, you know what it is? It's not the humor. It's the musical numbers.
Just the music itself.
Yeah, because this goes into a musical number, right?
It does. You know what? Actually, yeah, because the visuals aren't that off the wall. I guess because there's a magic element. The monkey blowing the horn is a little weird, but...
Well, this part right here, where he's all like, I'm the great and powerful Oz, right? And then he turns, it's like, just kidding. Right? That's okay.
Yeah, and you know what? He doesn't look... I know that everybody was horrified by, like, the first glimpse of him.
Well, they're just taking this shot.
And I don't blame them, because we were too. It doesn't look as bad to me in motion.
No. But you understand, like, okay, the humor works right here, but then when it goes into full-blown, like, musical number, then it starts seeming weird. To me.
Yeah, especially when you hear Will Smith doing his, like, pseudo-serious, you ain't never got a friend like me line. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And then, okay, maracas, whatever, right? But
That's the part.
this is like, what the heck, man?
It's not cool.
Like, all of a sudden, like, I understand that the genie can make things happen, right? Because he's magical. But how does he make this, like, chimp play the horn? And I guess he's at a drum set, too, because this is a cymbal and these are drums right here.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Chris Evans says, no Gilbert, no sale.
I know!
Yeah.
Come on, Gilbert's awesome.
Chris Evans also said, I feel
I
like...
do a Gilbert! This is my Gilbert Gottfried! Hey!
Is it hard to maintain?
My voice, I can't do it.
Do you remember... Oh my gosh. Was it Howard Stern or was it Adam Carolla?
Oh, he used to go on Stern all the time.
But he played, because he was like, Gilbert used to not talk like this, and he like played an answering machine message or something where Gilbert sounded normal.
Like normal? Maybe it was Adam, because Adam had that prank phone call show.
And you could tell that it was him. Like, it sounded like him, but he didn't have that, like, rasp to his voice. And he was like, yeah, he's putting on that voice. Like, and Gilbert was like, I don't know, like, what you're talking about. Like...
My favorite Gilbert Gottfried, it was in one of the Lethal Weapon movies, I think. Maybe it was 2. And he plays this shyster business guy. And so, like the two, like, what is it, Mel Gibson and what's his partner's name? The actor, I can't remember his name now. But those two guys are like, you know how they go, they're detectives and they got to interview these guys and see what they know and all this stuff. So then Gilbert's like, he's like, okay, so you got me. You know, he's always squinty and stuff. All right, so let me just say, what could I put in this hand that would make it all go away? Like, if I could put something in your hands, like, I don't know, just something. Could we just make this all go away? So he's basically bribing him. And he's like, just anything. I could put it right in your hand. And it's absolutely hilarious. And I don't know if I'm making this up, because I only saw the movie once. But you know how you always have, like, in your office, you have pictures of your family and stuff?
Yeah.
And you know how Gilbert always has the squinty eyes?
That's funny you said that, because, not to interrupt, but Chris Evans says, perfect, Art. Are you squinting your eyes when you do that voice?
Yes, I am. I'm squinting my eyes right now. It helps. And so then all the pictures in the office, like his wife and his kids, they all had the squinty eyes.
That's hilarious.
So, and then he used to have these MTV commercials. I'm an old boomer, so you guys probably don't remember this. And he would kind of spin around on a record, and he would tell these jokes.
Oh, I remember those.
And really?
I didn't see them till later.
And so he's like, I was talking to those guys from The Who, and I said, you know what? You know what would be a great way to end your shows? You could destroy your instruments. And I'm like, that's funny.
I never knew what that was from. Somebody mixed that into like a funny commercial thing, but I forget what he's talking. He's like sitting on a record or something.
Yeah, I think he's spinning around on a record, and I think at the end or something it spins faster or something. You can destroy your instruments.
Alpha Proto says, I like subdued musical numbers, like in the new Jungle Book.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking this would, for me personally, and then Taylor, feel free to chime in. I think this art direction looks amazing because that Beauty and the Beast, I thought there were aspects that looked phony.
Yeah.
Like the settings and stuff looked really, really bad, artificial. This actually looks inspired, and for the most part, it's heightened, but it looks more grounded. And I think just the first part before the genie does his little like comedic routine and then the musical number hits, up to the point where the genie, you know, changes and he's kind of like this fun genie instead of this like militant, you know, like by the books genie. It works. I like the tone, and I think like if I want humor in it, but if the humor was just kind of what do they call it, situational, where it just kind of comes up, like funny moments happen, but it's not per se a comedy, it's more of a drama, I think it would work better for me. And also, I don't like these Disney complete remakes of the cartoon where beat by beat, frame by frame, they're exactly the same. How do you feel? Yeah,
you're right, because it feels very like the flaws of the movie really are that. Like the flaws of the movie are how is he wearing parachute pants? The flaws of
It's hammer time.
the flaws of the movie all come from them doing that. All come from them trying to follow the original to a T. And the original has a great story, but it's a cartoon, and you can do things in a cartoon you can't really do in this. And the formula of it being a musical, I do think hurts it. Like, I do agree that I think this movie would be better totally devoid of being a musical. Like, if they played musical cues, you know, like they played a little bit of the theme at the beginning of the trailer so you could hear it, nobody was singing.
Right.
Like, if they do that, it'd be cool, so you can just hear little, like, tastes of it and remind you. But I don't think they need to openly sing, and it feels out of place.
Yeah, Taylor and I were talking about this before we went on the live stream, and musicals, traditionally, they're really, really artificial. They're not that grounded. They have dramatic moments, but they're framed up like they feel more like a musical. They feel like the reality is this character's going to break out in song at any minute now. And then animation-wise, it works. But I just think for this, it's too much. And also it's very predictable, too, because you already know the songs. You already know the musical numbers. You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing this? Is this like a greatest hits? You know what I mean? Is this like Aladdin's greatest hits? Is this like Beatlemania, where they're just going to do a tribute to, you know, Aladdin? I think it's weird. And you know what? Just looking at the setup all the way up to the musical number here, it looked better without the music.
It has a strong setup. Chris Evans says, I wonder if Jazzy Jeff will be in it, backing up Will Smith.
You know, we could only hope. What if Jazzy Jeff is the, what's the monkey's name?
Abu?
Abu? Along with Jazzy Jeff.
But look, like, the settings are pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see it's kind of artificial, but it works. It's heightened.
There is something, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I do have a pet peeve when it comes to Disney, like their CGI that they have been doing. It's been pretty good. Like, their settings and stuff, CGI have been good. But like you said, Beauty and the Beast, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it's because the setting wasn't that interesting and they kind of just stayed in that house the whole time. But like, the Beast looked weird, and then I hate how they CGI all of their animals. Like, The Jungle Book was an okay movie, but I hated how the wolves looked when they talked, how their mouths moved and stuff. And I didn't like how they looked in general. And like, when they show that tiger in this trailer, I hate the way the tiger looks. And that elephant, like, they all look really weird.
The elephant looks very Jumanji, like old.
That's what it is.
Old school, like CGI.
All the animals look a little Jumanji-ish to me.
But look at the spectacle here. I mean, there's obviously sets built, but there's CGI as well. I mean, this looks pretty impressive. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like, all that stuff works. I think it's just a nitpick, but seeing like the tigers and stuff, I don't know. It turns me off every time I see it.
I mean, this is good.
It has like an interesting color palette and stuff too. She got her blue dress on.
I don't know. I don't think Jasmine's pretty enough. I think Will Smith is more attractive.
Somebody said he looked like Sinbad in the chat.
Sinbad, who's bad? Sinbad.
Let me see. Knox says, is it coming out in May? For some reason, I thought it was much further off.
No, it's May 24th.
And James says, how much did they pay Will Smith to do this to himself?
I don't think they'd have to pay Will Smith very much. I think those guys just want to work.
I mean, he left his Deadshot job.
And to be honest, he's not bad in this. And no one is bad. I think it's just, I'm tired of the Disney formula, and I'd like to see it without the musical numbers, to be honest. More emphasis on the action-adventure, the romance, the fun of the genie stuff versus musical numbers.
It would give the movie an identity of its own. And I don't know. I agree. I don't think Will Smith is bad. Like, he's pretty charming in the trailer. I don't even think that the hideous blue monstrosity, I know that we gave him a lot of crap in our last Aladdin video. It wasn't bad, actually.
It was fun, though.
Yeah, it was fun.
If you can't laugh at a blue genie, then what can you laugh at? And it's meant to be funny too, though. It's meant to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the original genie design was that serious.
Do you think like they did like with Oscar Isaac here, like what they did with the Nick Fury with in the Captain Marvel where they de-aged him?
Oh, maybe they did. That's why he looks so smooth.
Yeah, I mean he's a handsome man.
They really remember the kids in the first, well, not the first, the kids in the Jurassic World movie. How
They de-aged them?
No, how they had like way too much makeup on.
Oh, they had the lipstick on. Yeah, look at this guy.
It's a little bit of that happening.
Yeah, there's those lips. They want you. They want all the little girls to go, okay.
They'll love him, I'm sure.
Let's do this. I think Oscar Isaacs is good in this role as Aladdin.
Yeah, I mean, he's really going outside his range.
Yeah.
Playing a younger character.
He's got really small ears. It's hard to hear. Hey Taylor.
What is it, Art?
Thanks for playing along with the Oscar Isaac thing.
Why? We could have kept it going.
Everybody's like, I didn't know Oscar Isaac. Yes, Poe Dameron is in this movie.
There's Amelia Clark.
That is Amelia Clark.
It looks like Amelia Clark, but
it does look like Amelia Clark. She's like the template now for all like Hollywood women.
She is. They all have that like little heart-shaped face.
How did you nailed it?
And their hair's parted down the middle.
Look at this skin. It's perfect.
It's very Amelia Clark.
Because you know how she is a little bit of a chameleon? You know, like they'll dye her hair white and then they'll be like brown and then, yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff with her.
Has she played a redhead yet?
I don't think she has.
No.
But they could have, I guess, in Terminator, she just looked like her normal self, right? She had like dark hair.
Yeah, it was brown. This looks a little bit more on the black side. So, yeah, Amelia Clark alongside a de-aged Oscar Isaac.
If we photoshopped a picture of Amelia Clark and Oscar Isaac into this scene, people wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah. I think she's too made up.
She's a princess.
Those lips, I'm sorry, man. Tone back on them.
Do you think they're going to have that creepy Jafar scene where she tries to seduce him?
She tries to seduce him?
Yeah, remember? She tries to stab him.
That's not seducing someone.
No, but she wears that little red outfit. Remember he uses magic and he puts her in like a little sexy outfit?
We can only hope. Amelia Clark is not sexy.
I remember watching that as a kid and being like, this is weird.
She has those like Amelia Clark, like, they're not doe-eyed, but they're very, like, I guess kind of innocent looking.
They're like a child's eyes.
They're like a child's eyes. Look at those eyebrows. Look at how groomed. Look at her, Taylor.
Popefire says, I bet she could play Starfire.
I think we could do better.
I don't have an ideal Starfire actress.
You don't like the one that's in the DC live stream or streaming service show? What is it, Teen Titans?
Somebody photoshopped her orange and she didn't visually look all that bad, but I heard that show's horrendous.
It looks bad.
Have you seen any of it? Because I've avoided it.
No, but as soon as he was like, F Batman or whatever, I was like, I'm out.
Well, this looks better than that.
That is so Oscar. Even the dimples.
He's gonna make a yo mama joke.
Yo mama, yo mama, yo mama. Hey, okay, here's the moment. We're leading up to the moment where this trailer commits Harry Carey.
Yeah, because like I was on board even at this part.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. Then...
Okay, so this effect sort of working. Okay.
But then... Without the music, though, it looks very beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? We got to back it up, and I'm going to turn the music back on, or the sound back on.
I'll try not to laugh obnoxiously loud.
Because also, it does the action-adventure trope that Taylor pointed out. It does the boom, boom, boom. So watch this. This is the wrong beat for this.
Do you trust me?
Boom, boom. Oh my gosh, that's bad.
They could use that same sound effect leading into like a Tom Cruise movie. Like that doom.
They do it in oh my gosh, they do it in the new Men in Black. Remember when they're in the car and they got the gun? Boom, boom, boom.
Pope Fire says, in the new Titan show, Starfire lights a train on fire with cops inside of it.
Oops. She does it with her left hand. That's an inside Pope Fire joke.
That's deep lore.
That's deep lore. Look at those hands.
They're pretty. Well, I guess she's royalty.
Wait. We were talking. Okay, we gotta be quiet for this. This is the worst. Whoever did this is like, you know what we could do? We could do the trope that all trailers do, where we do the count off 1, 2, 3, but with like boom, 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 and then it's the most romantic song in the movie. Like, you think that it's gonna build up to some kind of action scene, right? No.
I don't know who it's targeted at. Like, I'm just picturing like a super girly editor, and she's like, I know what it'll build up to, and she's like, just cuts that scene in.
It's a tease to every young kid, like every young boy that's like, oh my gosh, that's the action adventure trope. That's going to lead me into a killer action shot. And it's like, it's a whole new world.
It's confusing every like boy in the audience.
Well, it confused me. All right, here we go.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Did you have something?
Well, I was just going to say, I think they use that same musical cue at the beginning of the movie when there is action, when he's like running around.
They use it twice?
I think they play it. It might be something else.
All right, here we go.
Miss Princess, do you trust me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's horrible. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. He almost looks like he's enjoying this, though.
He looks like he's smiling. Oh God!
This is awesome. But this is the ridiculous stuff that I'll accept, right?
Well, it's a genie scene too.
Right, but look at they got the who snufflers or dufflers from.
I was gonna say that
too. From How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
The thing is, like, if people. It's hard to be like, oh, this part's ridiculous, because it's like, well, they're selling you on a cartoony genie, and if you can't buy that the genie's gonna do weird stuff, then
exactly. Let's keep the comedy for the genie, right? The over the top, silly humor, or like just like I said, like situational, just stuff that just happens. You know, that's funny, but kind of keep it more action adventure.
Outside of that,
yeah, a fun action adventure, not a heavy drama, but a fun action adventure. With this aesthetic, I think it could work. Get the music, take the music out.
Because now that you mention it, like, the genie thematically would fit that role really easily.
Yeah, because it works here.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, look at this. Look at that.
This actually looks exciting. I actually do want to see it.
I know. Just get rid of the music.
I don't know what's going on here.
I don't remember Snow. Is that him maybe getting out of the Cave of Wonders?
Maybe? I don't know. Oh, God.
This is like a Tom Cruise moment where he's like in Mission Impossible. What if Tom Cruise did the voice of the monkey?
Oh, my gosh, no.
This mission just got a little bit more impossible.
And then he chirps and runs. D. Wolfman says, 1 step ahead of the ushers. I think I'll head right out the door.
Yeah, no music. Disney, jeez Louise, man. Or, you know what? If you're going to do this, just write a bunch of new songs. See, they don't even have the guts or the, dare I say it, balls. I like my women with balls.
Get some balls, Disney.
Get some balls, Disney, and just cut the music out or write some new music.
Wasn't there a new musical number that was bad in Beauty and the Beast? I can't remember because all I remember is that horrible Belle's mom death scene in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Where they had that MacGuffin of the Beast being like, I have this magical book that lets me time travel to see anything. And it's like, oh, okay. I don't remember if there's a different song or not.
Just bring a big old heavy dose of angst into the story that didn't need it.
That's
like she's already tortured her. She's hanging out with this beast and she's trying to figure out, how the hell do I make this work? I'm going to be in prison for the rest of my life. You know, who's going to take care of my dad?
The first...
By the way, how old was her dad when...
He didn't seem that old. Like, when in current time of the movie.
He seemed ancient.
Really?
To me.
In the cartoon or in the...
in the cartoon.
In the cartoon he seemed really old.
He seemed like her grandfather.
They do that a lot in Disney movies, though. Like, because even, like, a lot of the dads actually seem old now that I think about it. I don't know why. But, like, in the live-action movie, the dad didn't seem like he was that old.
The dad was... Who'd they get? I like that actor.
I remember... Oh, gosh. I don't remember. All I remember about that movie is how, like, weird it was.
It was Kevin Kline.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was Kevin Kline.
How did they get him in that movie?
By the way, Kevin Kline's genius shows no bound. One of my favorite shows is that Bob's Burger, and he plays that really fish good. Odor. He does the voice of Fish Odor.
He has a great voice for voice acting, actually.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't seen, Bob's Burger, check it out. That guy is a psychopath, that Fish Odor. He is so weird.
There's the Cinderella movie, which I think is the first live-action Disney movie. It's not very good, but like the only thing I really liked about it, and again it has pretty bad CGI, the only thing I liked about it is that they addressed Cinderella's mom dying to show that the dad was in a vulnerable place when he married that like crazy woman. But they paint her dad as being a really nice guy, and they paint like the mom's dying in this weird like... Not a positive light, but it's not too downerish, because she basically instills in her that she has to be kind to everybody. So it shows like she put up with all that BS.
Yeah, and that's story specific, right? It's not just a throwaway. That bell thing seemed like it was a checklist idea, right? It's like, you know what, we have to have a scene that's different. So it'll seem unique to, like it'll have a identity unto itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That will set it apart from the cartoon, right? And then it was a horrible car wreck. At least the Cinderella one seems like...
It's at least topical to the story.
Yeah, it relates to the story and sets up, why she's so kind and why like you said, the dad was in a bad place.
Because you always wonder in the cartoon, like, why did her dad marry this, like, monster of a woman? And they show that, like, the dad was a really nice guy. He was in a really vulnerable place. And then Cinderella was open to them because the mom basically tells her to keep her heart open, so she embraces them. And then once the dad... passes away, she's stuck with them. But at least, yeah, it fits the role of the movie as opposed to the Belle thing, which didn't add any content at all.
Yeah, it was just shoehorned in as like, well, we need a new scene. How about this? That scene totally does not fit that movie at all.
Doesn't.
Like it doesn't even pretend to feel coherent with the rest or cohesive with the rest of the story.
If there's time travel involved in Beauty and the Beast, you've gone a step too far.
Well, even tonally it doesn't fit.
No, it's weird.
It goes really dark.
Let's have a romance story and midway I'll go back to my mom dying.
Like, it's not dark enough, like in a gothic way, that this poor woman has to try to make it work with a monster. I mean, we gloss over the fact that, it's Beauty and the Beast, right? He's a nice beast. He's a freaking monster. Could you look at that every day at breakfast, right? You're like, I have to pretend that I'm not hanging out with a monster.
And then in the live action, don't they say, like, it's not that he was a jerk, but he was so vain or something. Oh, I remember the added musical number. It was terrible. It's really short. It's where... the servants say that the reason they are involved in the curse, like the reason they turn into furniture or whatever, is because they didn't intercede the prince being raised by his dad because his mom died and the dad raised him to be a bad guy. Even though, that's not the servant's job, but they show this random scene of this little boy singing to a dying woman.
Oh my god.
He said it's like one verse and then it ends. So he just sings one verse and then the dad's like, come along, boy. And they're like, we should have stepped in before his dad got to him.
Oh my gosh.
It's so bad.
So she's got mommy issues and then he's got daddy issues?
They'll
Is that
the perfect pair?
Yeah, two damaged people. Yeah. Because she's not supposed to be angsty and damaged because she's the one that kind of shows him the light. Like, she's the one that helps him live again.
She's going to give him hope while talking about her dead mom.
Yeah. Whatever. Come on, Disney. Yes. There's your Jumanji level.
I do not like that. Although I'm curious about what's happening in this scene.
This girl right here looks very, very concerned.
She does.
This woman earned her. What do you think she made? Like $25
and tickets to the movie. She's probably getting into Star Wars Land.
You know what? I would do that for Star Wars Land tickets.
Look at this woman's eye in the frame.
That's Jasmine.
I know, but look at her eyes.
Yeah, but you said it like she wasn't Jasmine.
It just looks strange.
It's all digitally done.
Yeah, maybe they just got Star Wars Land.
She looks like she's one step away from, what was that character in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when his eyes pop out?
Oh my gosh.
The villain.
Shout it out in the chat if you guys remember. It terrified me as a child.
And his voice goes all high.
When I killed your brother, I sounded just like this. Oh, it's horrifying.
That's a great scene, though. Man, you just gave me chills right now.
Cam says about Belle. You mean she shows him a whole new world?
Oh God, probably.
Oh,
another dance move.
He gets the guards to.
Okay, all these guys in the background, they were all in Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Oh no.
Yeah. They were.
Were they children?
They were children.
At the time?
They were children's.
Oh, he does say that. They're being ignorant.
Ignorant. With the children's. Hey, Taylor.
What is it, Art?
For lunch, you want some Jesus juice?
Do you have any?
I could get some.
Jesus juice is going to be his legacy.
You know, somebody needs to brand that. Like, have their own winery. Jesus juice.
When I first heard that, I know it's like a sad story.
It's really sad.
And it's kind of insensitive, but the term Jesus juice is one of the funniest things. It's
funny. You know what is that? Like, it's funny because it's true. Like, it goes beyond logic, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you talk about a scam. How do you argue with Jesus? It's juice. Jesus juice.
You can't say no to the Jesus juice.
You can't. And then it's Michael Jackson offering it to you. Oh. You know, like there's things like we talk about stupid things in the studio, you guys. I know we're going off on a tangent.
Sometimes we do it live, like now.
But they're the best parts of life. It's when we're like, you know what? I would never do LSD or like acid. I had friends, you guys. I have a drug-induced past.
Ooh, but is that going to be a new Boomin' Out Loud?
I did some things I might not be too proud of.
Let's put it this way. Art was a drummer, is a drummer, but he was a drummer in the 90s.
I've seen some shit. So I had friends that would drop acid and stuff, right? And these guys were assholes, okay?
Wait, were they in the band? Or bands,
bands, you know, like just guys that I grew up with. They're just dirt bags, you know, just idiots, right? Just guys. But like, just case in point, okay, we would drink until we passed out, like every night. And so, the ritual was the first one that passed out, because they were lightweights, right? Something bad would happen to them when they woke up. Like, and we all crashed at the same place, like somebody's house. Like, am I saying too much?
No, keep going.
So then that person would wake up either with no hair.
Oh, no.
Or like some kind of Sharpie designs on their faces.
Did you have parameters?
No.
Oh, gosh.
One time we brought the funnel out. We were funneling. Oh, we did some messed up stuff, right? And so the thing is, I think the last straw was the shaved head.
That's horrible.
And he woke up with a shaved head and a toilet seat wrapped around his neck. Like, we ripped our own toilet seat off of like the rental house and put it around his neck. We didn't even like unbolt it. We just pulled it right from the porcelain. And we were punks. And so at that moment I was like, you know, because they would do acid, Taylor, and so, I'm like whispering, like
they're gonna hear,
like I'm trying to hide it from somebody, and so it makes the story better, and so
because they're also seeing fractals and stuff while this is happening.
Yeah, they're also seeing this poor like Jasmine, you know, fighting for her life,
This is what they see. They see
Yeah.
the genie.
And so anyway, long story short, there was like, I was like, I would never do acid with these guys. Could you imagine?
Oh my god.
The crap that they would do to you? Like when they were doing that stuff, I just left. Like I was like, that's it. I can't go there. Right? So could you imagine? Like, because they always say it is a fine line between a good trip
Yes.
and a bad trip. And if you
Anything can set you off.
right, and if you had assholes like that, could you imagine? Could you just imagine the bad trips you would have? So I was always like, never. And so then Taylor and I were like, yeah, maybe we would do it, right?
The right people.
But the right people. And then mine was John Lennon or the Beatles, right? I would drop acid with them. Who did you pick?
If I could get to Florence from Florence and the Machine, I feel like we'd have a good time. She seems like she'd be calming, but if she started freaking out, I feel like then I'd start freaking out big time.
Is she an acid dropper?
No, she seems like she'd be more into like
Wine and pot?
yeah, you know what, you're right.
She's mellow.
I don't know who would be a good person to
I don't know,
mess
some of
with.
those guys though, they do drop acid too though.
They
like the
mix.
mellow ones? Yeah.
I did have a friend. Well, I do have a friend. I'm not going to name her because she's probably
I sound like an
listening.
expert now. like drug culture.
She's probably listening right now. But she did acid like not that, well, let's say a while ago, even though it wasn't that long ago, at a camping trip. And I was watching her and like you were saying, being around like people like setting you off, and somebody was being really hyper and jumping around. And I just remember she turned to me and she's like, I'm having a very good time, but him jumping around is really freaking me out right now. And then she just walked away to her tent.
Yeah, you'd have to. But see, the friends I hung out with, as soon as you
would've been
said
in her face.
right, as soon as you said that, guess what? It's on. They wouldn't leave you alone. It would be crazy. It would be crazy time right there.
Because I was just thinking, like, if somebody jumping around would set you off, imagine people that are like actively trying to scare you.
This is what you would see: giant birds if you were on acid, along with a monkey running with you, with a genie's lamp on his back.
You wake up with a fez and just a vest on. You're like, where is Abu?
Where's Abu? We had a good time. We had a great adventure last night until that giant frickin' parrot showed up.
Cam said people that do hallucinogens are always so smug.
You know what? I would do mushrooms, and I have, but I would never do.
That's way
acid.
less though, because acid can give you flashbacks.
And I have friends. I'm not going to name names, but
I keep avoiding it too.
I have a friend that he'll be talking just like I'm talking right now.
Oh no.
And that's what would happen.
Oh god.
He would just stop. He would shut down.
What do you say?
You don't say anything. You're just like, holy crap. Like, is he dead?
Oh.
Like, every part of his life goes away. Like, the eyes go dark.
Ooh.
He stops talking. And then he'll come back right where he left off. He won't even go like, what was I talking about? Like, there's no what is that, self-awareness that he even left.
Ooh, that's scary actually.
He just shuts down.
See, I don't like the idea of that ever happening.
He doesn't even move, Taylor.
Because he probably doesn't even know.
I so want to say the name.
Can we get him in for a booming out loud?
If I said the name, you guys would like know exactly who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Cam says, you guys sure you haven't had a little Jesus juice already?
This is pretty early to be this loopy.
And Comic Book Bob says, Art, I got my copy of Oodles of Doodles. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Yeah. I think Pamela just sent out a batch today.
She's killing it.
Yeah, oh my gosh. You should. My wife, when she commits to something, it's absolutely beautiful. Like, she gets things done, and she gets things done right. And right now, she's at the printer getting prints made while Taylor and I are talking about who we'd want to do LSD with.
What about Will Smith?
I would do LSD with Will Smith.
He turns into the genie midway.
Yeah, he would, because if you thought it, see, that's the thing. If you think it, it could happen. You know what would be awesome? Is if all the blue skin characters from like entertainment showed up. Like Nebula and...
She'd definitely do that. I wouldn't be surprised she already is.
Well, I mean, if we were dropping it, and we just like all of our friends turn into like
They all show up blue.
they turn into the Genie and Nebula. Who's some other blue characters?
Oh God, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, which would be terrible.
That would be when the trip starts going bad.
Why is blue the color? Like,
I don't know. What's the one kid show? Something in the Big Blue House or what?
Bear in the Big Blue House?
But is Bear blue?
No, but he lived in a blue house and it's very cool.
Is Baloo blue? Should he be blue?
I don't. He kind of is. If he showed up, then I'd be terrified.
I don't know why I went to Baloo.
D. Wolf says, if you wake up with a vest and fez, that's one wild night with the Shriners.
You know what? I bet the Shriners have seen some shit.
Oh yeah, they do some occult stuff.
Oh! We should pimp this. We should. Okay, you guys. I have a neighbor. We're not getting into. Should we try to wrap this up and go into something else? Like, this is where it's totally going off of the Aladdin thing.
We're going to change the title of this video because it's no longer just reacting to Aladdin.
Okay, you guys talk about, like, Shriners and stuff, like secret organizations. They fascinate me because some of these organizations still are around in one form or another. And what are some of the secret societies, Taylor? There's the Shriners. There's
the there's the Freemasons. There's weird because there's like the Elk Shrine that's in like Brea.
Yeah, but it's like Elks Club and stuff.
Elks Club, yeah.
Yeah, some of them have
Phoenix
like
Club.
They have ties to like secret organizations. And have you ever noticed, they don't have them as much, but when I was a kid, when you would leave like one city to another, they would have a sign that says now leaving whatever. They used to have one right here on Green River where it'd say now leaving Corona or now leaving Orange County. They took it down, but it was there 20 years ago. And sometimes they'll have the secret society emblems. Like they'll have the sign, the city sign, but then they have little circles. I know you've seen these things.
Yeah, they have one in Fullerton, but it's like the welcome sign where it just says like welcome to Fullerton or something.
Right, but then they'll have like little circle like signs like right next to it. And some of them are like Elk and Shriner and stuff like that. So when I was a kid, I'd always like, what are those? And then your parents would tell you and it's like, oh, they're like a secret organization. So I always thought they had some kind of ties to the city. Yeah. Founding of the city or something like that. Like, why would these things be there if they didn't?
Yeah, because how do they get, like, clearance to even do that?
Because, like, the Freemasons and stuff, they have, like, they would build and things like that. So, anyway, there's a neighbor. Wow. Actually, speaking of Jesus juice, Pamela and I were just walking around the neighborhood, just walking around. It was a nice day. And so my neighbor drives up in his Bentley.
Ooh.
His Bentley. Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. And so he's like, hey, guys. And I was like, hey, this guy is like easily 20 years older than I am. He's this kick-ass old guy. He still drives around in his Harley. You hear it sometimes, right, Taylor? You can hear him like driving up the...
I've seen him a couple times.
The hill here. Yeah, he's a cool dude. His name's Bill. And so he's like, hey, you want to come up? We can watch the view from my house. He's like one house higher. We have a view of Mount Baldy here. It's beautiful. Like I'm looking at the snow right now from the studio top.
You can see the whole city. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a lake. All that basin right there is all water. And so we go up there and he breaks out the Jesus juice, right? So we're drinking. And so I'm just talking about like vigilantism and comics and stuff like that because that also fascinates me, like superheroes, vigilantes, all that. And so then he says, I'm part of, what did I say? It was the 606 or something?
606, yeah.
And the 606 is a Nevada, like Northern California vigilante group. It's legitimate. It's a secret society of vigilantes. And so it dates back to the early West, like settlements, 1800s, mid-1800s.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's like it's really early on in like American history.
It's crazy. And so they still let kick-ass dudes in the group. And so what these guys did in the day is because a lot of these towns, they had one sheriff. They may have one deputy, But usually they didn't even have that, Taylor. So they would swear guys in. So let's just say the Cowboys ride into town, right? There's 5 of them. There's one sheriff. What's he going to do? So he swears in his deputies, right? So they can actually kind of go toe-to-toe with these guys. But if that failed, the 606 came in and took care of business. And so these guys would be all over the place, right? And so what these guys would do, they just come out of the woodwork and they would take care of business. And it usually ended, he didn't even bat an eye, Taylor. He said it usually ended with a lynching.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was no due process. There was nothing because there was no, they would have to write these guys into town, so they could get a trial and stuff like that. So these guys were just taking care of justice right there on the streets, man.
They're cleaning house.
Yeah, they would just do that. And so they didn't really let people know who they were and stuff like that. They just came out of the woodwork and would take care of business. So the cool thing about this is, like Batman, his whole thing is he's a vigilante, but he dresses like a bat, right? So he scares people. So I always thought that was a great idea, right? Like, he's a bat? Like,
that's pretty cool.
That's weird and scary. So the scary part about the 606 was you didn't know who these guys were. They could be the guy that you just, works at the, the feed place for the animals, or the guy that works at the saloon or whatever it is, the guy that is a farmer. And these guys would come out when they were needed and they would take care of business. And so could you imagine if you're just riding into town, it would keep the honor system, right? You'd just go, you know what? Is this a 606 town?
You wouldn't know.
You would know, and then you would probably not do some crap because secretly these guys could come out of the woodwork and just lay you out. Yeah. And it was going to end with your death.
Yeah.
There was no other way it was going to end. You weren't going to get a fair trial. You weren't going to get crap. You were going to die.
Yeah, because if it comes down to that, then it's already serious business.
Yeah. So we're going to get that guy on the show.
I think it's going to be a really cool show. We'll have to do that'll be a special, I don't know, is that a Booming Out Loud or an interview with?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's why we haven't done it yet. And also we're trying to figure out his schedule.
Cam just said, talking about the acid dropping, I never would have expected it was Jim Lee.
I'm just going to say, I have partied with Jim Lee. And, he's not quite as straight-laced as you guys might think.
Let's see. Shriners, they get filled up with pork and drive those little cars around. It's a wild time.
Yeah, they have those like...
little cars.
What are those called? Those little rear-engine go-karts, right?
Cam says, the Rotary Club, those guys are nuts. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. If the rumor about the $750 million break even, I'm not sure. You guys talking about... I'm assuming you guys are talking about Captain Marvel again. Let's see. Look up Mason symbols in the street layout of DC. And Chris Evans says, whoa, what did I come back to? And we were talking the 606. And Ray Lulu says, you really want to scare people? Start a secret vigilante group and dress like ghosts. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't think that one would work.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not do that.
It's going to be pretty coul. I think you guys will like that one. It'll be an interesting
Yeah, they would lynch people, but they would lynch, obviously, bad people.
Criminals that had made it past, the militia coming in or the sheriffs coming in.
Yeah, because the thing is also, it was instant justice, right? Because they saw what they did, right? You know what I mean? So they were eyewitnesses, so they were just like, okay... This happened. Well, now this is going to happen. And
it meant those guys had already evaded, law enforcement coming in.
Right. Yeah, these guys weren't, the first line of defense. Their first go-to wasn't, let's lynch him.
Oh, I guess the news just dropped. The news flash, James Gunn just got reinstated as director/writer of Guardians 3.
Oh, come on.
I thought that movie was already in production.
So what? Disney just slapped his hands and now they're bringing him back?
I guess.
Haven't we learned anything from, Leaving Neverland?
I know.
I'm not saying James Gunn full-on did anything, but that's pretty inappropriate behavior.
And how come, okay, so I guess he's SJW enough for Disney just lets him come back, they haven't really done that for anybody else.
Well, also it makes James Gunn look like a punk because I thought he was helping out Warner Brothers with the... What is that movie?
Is he doing Justice League?
No, he's doing the Will Smith. What is it? I want to say Secret Seven, but it's
I
not.
know you're talking about. You're talking about Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I know. So I guess he's gonna do both, or is he gonna ditch Suicide Squad now?
I don't know. Did he just write the screenplay or the treatment? I don't know.
It would be hilarious if he ditched Suicide Squad after all of this.
Do you think this was all a ploy now? This is another show right here.
Maybe.
Like Disney went, okay, well, we can't have... This guy's the golden child, right? He's the golden boy. He's put out 2 great movies. We want to keep the franchise going, but he did do this stuff that was inappropriate. So do you think this was all staged, maybe?
Because they got to publicly, I guess, punish him and shame him.
Right.
You know, maybe... Disney needs Gunn to make another hit. They need the money to make up for everything they spent buying their own tickets for Captain Marvel. I don't believe he'll be directing both, but he is double dipping.
Yeah, but you guys, that Endgame is going to clean up, man. I mean, they may... I mean, the verdict isn't out on Captain Marvel yet. I think you guys are probably right. But they'll just write that off as a loss because Endgame is going to make them a crap ton of money.
And honestly, even if they did spend like upwards of 20 million on that, that's like a drop in the bucket for how much Endgame is probably going to make anyway.
20 million? You mean like 200 million?
Yeah, like, is that how much they dropped into supposedly buying tickets?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant to make the movie.
Oh, no. Because I guess...
To buy the tickets. Okay.
They think that they spent like 23 million, but
honestly,
that's like a drop in the bucket for how much they're going to clean up with Endgame.
Yeah, that money will just... That money will just go into like tax write-off. They'll just write that off as a probably promotional, expense, and then they'll just move on. Because Captain Marvel, what title does it have right now? It got like 5th best opening for a Marvel movie or some title like that. So at least they have some status attached to it. I know it's all artificial, you guys. I know they kind of bought seats and the Rotten Tomatoes and all that.
But it's enough for them to play off of.
But the average movie-going audience doesn't know that. They just know that the commercials are going to come out and they're going to say, the best whatever Marvel movie, blah-bitty, blah, blah, blah. They're just going to hold on to that one status.
Yeah, and that's all it's going to go down in history with anyway.
Yeah, they'll just hold on to that. Nobody will remember the Rotten Tomatoes stuff or any of that other.
James says, it would be wrong if he did ditch Suicide Squad, and Comic Book Bob says, well, considering Suicide Squad is kind of in development limbo until Birds of Prey hits, I didn't know that, I can see him dipping out and going back to Guardians.
Oh, yeah, well, he needs to work. I didn't know that either. I thought it was on the fast track.
I thought it was coming out, like, way sooner than Birds of Prey, because Birds of Prey doesn't even seem like it's solidly, like, developed yet.
Although they did put out that really weird... I don't even know if you can call it a trailer.
Yeah, but we could cut a trailer like that in this room right now if we just had movie stars standing here.
We could go to, like, a convention and get more convincing, like, Suicide Squad characters and cut a trailer together.
Yeah, with probably more interesting backdrop than that. Like, there's a trash can in the background.
We'll get a burnout, like, warehouse and put, like plastic wrap on the walls. Should we try to wrap this up?
Yeah, I guess we're going off the rails here a little bit.
On a crazy train.
I guess the parting question would be, and I asked this at the chat before the James Gunn news dropped. I'll ask this of you, Art, and anybody else who's listening. Is there a single Disney movie, animated Disney movie you can think of that would be improved by being a live action movie?
Cartoon that would be improved?
Yeah, by becoming a live-action movie. Because I cannot think of a single one that would benefit from just being a live-action movie without being majorly changed in some manner.
No, and they've pretty much done everything. I mean, all the way down to 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
What's next? The Aristocats?
Oh my gosh, it probably will be.
Bunch of talking jazz cats.
Although,
that would be weird. You talk about acid trip.
A live...
Groovy, mama.
That should be the plan when we go see it. We'll eat some mushrooms and watch Aristocats. That'd be terrifying. But we'd need super chats to get there.
Oh, you know what they should do live action is Rescuers.
Oh, that would be weird.
That would be super weird, but cool.
I mean, that could be neat, actually. I was thinking...
It would be like Stuart Little meets some kind of action adventure movie.
That actually does sound cool. They might be able to do some neat stuff with that.
Talking mice and stuff hanging out.
They ride birds and stuff.
I know, that movie's pretty cool,
It'd be
actually.
like Redwall, kind of.
Oh my god.
Redwall would be cool.
Redwall was PBS, right?
I know that's not Disney, but that would be a pretty cool
Amanda
movie.
liked Redwall too. I used to watch it with her.
The books are pretty badass.
It's like Game of Thrones for like little PBS kids.
It really is. That's the best way to describe it. It's got some Secret of Nim vibe going on.
That show gets kind of hardcore. It's very serious, huh?
It's very, very serious. It's weird, actually. Atlantis, says Alpha Proto.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but I did think of that, but I don't know. There's no musical numbers in that, so that could work.
Yeah, someone wants us to do a reaction to Dumbo. I haven't seen that trailer, really.
Is there a bigger trailer? There is. There's a longer trailer out now.
Yeah, there is. If I recall, it doesn't seem like it really focuses on Dumbo. There's like a lot of human characters in it for some reason.
Is there a talking mouse in that trailer?
I don't know. I know there's a talking mouse in the original.
He's like the Jiminy Cricket to Dumbo, right?
Yeah, he is. He dresses in like a little ringmaster outfit or something.
He does.
Bedknobs and broomsticks.
They could not. Well, that's kind of live action already, but like they could not do that.
The Black Cauldron. It would be great. It would be almost like Legend.
Ooh,
That actually could be cool. Actually,
Legend is a weird movie, but it's actually kind of a cool movie too.
it is. She shouldn't have touched that unicorn, man.
It's more like it's kind of like a weird music video. You're like the visuals are all very music video. That's just strung together as like a loose story, right? Like it doesn't really seem to even have a point, the movie.
Just played Dio over it the whole time.
Look out!
It really does, though. It's a good...
Man, Oscar Isaac is going to get an Oscar Isaac for this performance. Oscar Isaac needs an Oscar.
I mean, he's trying.
Do you think he's going to get one for Poe Dameron?
I don't know. I don't know. There's some weird things coming out about that movie. I don't want to tread into Ethan territory, but there's some horrible rumors in the world of Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's bad. It's going to, whatever, I've already signed off on Star Wars anyway.
The 80s were awesome. People want you to talk more about acid trips. That'll have to be a different video.
That may have been the 70s. You guys, they can't even fathom how old I am. I seem very youthful, don't I?
You do. You have a youthful spirit.
I watched that video of the broken mic thing, and then I watched Doug on some stream.
Doug has old man vibes.
Doug does seem older than I. I'm older than Doug.
Doug seems he's an old man vibe about him.
He does, right? And he doesn't wash his hands.
Maybe that's a part of it.
I've shaken those hands.
It aged. Ooh.
I know.
Have you washed it since?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, you're all right then.
If I knew what I know now, I would never have shaken those hands. I think I said that to him live on one of those. He's like, "Hey, I thought we were friends." I go, nope, we're now fist bump buddies.
No more shaking hands.
No more shaking hands.
Comic Book Bob says Andy Serkis signed on for a live-action Mouse Guard movie.
Really?
I read.
Is he gonna Is that what is that? Where they motion cap, right?
Yeah. If you guys are fans of Mouse Guard, I'm not trying to crap on the comic, but Mouse Guard is a less superior version of Redwall, in my opinion.
Really?
I did like when they fought the crab though. That was cool.
Well, I'm just glad that Hollywood's buying obscure stuff because that shows that we have a chance.
I mean, I think like black and white, like it's more commercial than Mouse Guard. I don't know. And with the way CGI is coming, we can have some cool robots.
I'm trying real hard to get back focused on this, but it seems like we're having way more fun not talking about Aladdin right now.
Let's see. Another story. Mice and Mystics is getting a movie. Is this going to be the Year of the Mouse or
Mice
something?
and Mystics? Is that a comic?
I've never heard of Mice and Mystics
I never have
before.
either.
Like, ever. Let's get back into OBS before we get entrapped in here. And I'm surprised YouTube hasn't like gotten us yet.
Before we get stuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I guess to summarize, are you going to see this movie would be the best way to put this.
There's going to have to be great word of mouth. And I do think overall the worst aspect of these is they're a beat-by-beat remake of the cartoons all the way down to the musical numbers. And so they don't really have their own identities other than it's live action. So for me, I think Aladdin looks art directionally more interesting and more grounded than a lot of the movies that they've done, the adaptions that they've done.
Definitely.
The actors look really good. Will Smith, I know we bagged on him. Sorry, Will, if you're listening. He looks like he could be one of the better points in the movie. For me, I would give it a 2 thumbs up if the musical numbers weren't in it. If they could kind of keep the broad humor with the genie, but just with the genie, and then have some situational humor throughout the movie, but kind of keep it more grounded and rooted in a fun action adventure flick. That's it. No music. How do you feel?
I agree. I actually do want to see it. I keep not seeing movies that I want to see, but it's of all the like Disney live action remakes, it probably looks the best so far. Which I know that's not like a huge high bar, you guys, but I think
I agree though.
It looks the best to me. And I don't know. The problem is, I don't really have like a child to take to this or anything. Like, I don't really know what the main demographic is.
We could get one.
We could.
You can rent one.
I don't want to keep it.
Well, we could do
than
like
that.
Brie Larson and we'll just rent out a theater and get a bunch of like, poor kids.
And then we make money off of it.
Did she make money off it?
I don't know.
Oh, she did make money off it because
it's her movie.
It's her movie.
I mean, it'd be harder. What if we got Brie Larson to pay for us to go? She's still at the movies wearing the onesie, putting popcorn away.
All right, sum it up. Then I have a Brie Larson question for you.
I do want to see it. It probably looks the best out of all Disney live actions, but I have hated all the Disney live actions up until now, and I 100% agree with you. This movie would be improved by miles if it did not have the music in it, because that is the part where the trailer turns for me. But this is a much better trailer cut than the teaser, because the teaser was pretty horrendous.
Yeah, the trailer, the original teaser, right? Yeah. It looked pretty bad. Okay, the question is, are you ready? And then we'll end this. We'll end this. That sounds very threatening. Okay. All right. We're in Hollywood.
Okay.
We're taking our black and white business pitch, right?
All right.
We have $200 million allocated to the movie. Everything's lining up, right? We got everybody we want as we got Chris Hemsworth as Black.
Yes.
Right? We have everything set up. And you and I are just going to be successful beyond all belief. And then they said, but there's one condition.
Oh, no.
Brie Larson has to play white.
No!
What do we do?
Everything else is set up?
Yeah, everything's perfect.
Can we like train her to fix her repugnant personality? Well, wait.
But what if on the press tour she just says some crazy crap?
No, we can turn it around, because Brie Larson's all about giving opportunity to people of color, as she calls them. So what if we're if you take this role, you're taking it away from a person of color? And then she's like, you're right. And then she substitutes out someone that's better and Asian, but she gives her seal of approval on it.
Ooh, so you're saying we guilt trip her in Well, in a way, she would be whitewashing a character.
Yeah, no pun intended. So we could fix it by appealing to that
All right.
aspect
So
of her.
then we accept the deal, and then you and I are hanging out drinking Jesus juice and doing shrooms with Brie Larson. And then we're like, hey Brie, you know, Whitney's only half of what you are. The other half is Chinese. And then she's like, what? I didn't know that. It's like, oh yeah, read the comics, yeah. And then we start getting into stuff. And then before we know it, like Bree's like, oh my gosh, I cannot play this role in all good conscience.
I can't take this. I'm sorry.
I can't do it. You guys are great guys. Like, I thanks for the Jesus juice and the shrooms, but
Then she walks off into the woods.
why the woods?
Because it's funnier to picture her like, I have to go, and then just walking into the
What
wilderness.
if as she walks in the woods, it just starts snowing?
Breathe, there's nothing there.
No, Bree, no. She's just going to go and just freeze to death.
Just goes walking down the hill.
No, it's not that bad, really. And so then no one knows what led up to Brie Larson's suicide.
Or she just lives in the woods chopping wood
Oh, she's got a cabin there.
and stays there.
We follow her and we're like, what the heck?
She's such a self-hating white person that she's like, I have to banish myself.
She's off the grid. No electricity, no nothing. She's like,
I'm building my school. She's chopping wood just in the woods.
she's like, you know what I do with this money? I build cabins for the poor.
There's nobody out here.
There's like a whole like summer camp, like Brie Larson summer camp, like right behind her.
I'll teach them how to make alien blasters.
She teaches them how to braid hair and chop wood.
Chris Evans says she wakes up in the woods with Gilbert Gottfried spinning on her record.
You know, when you said that, all I could think about is what is that horrible song? Actually, I kind of like it. That one that goes, you spin me right round, baby, round, round.
Let's not step over the fact chopping wood and braiding hair. She's braiding her own hair just like compulsively.
Like a record, baby, round, 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 round. Hey, what? Did you ever, oh my gosh, if you go into like old homes, like in California, there's like little ghost towns and stuff, and there's like these little tourist trappy places you can go and
Solvang.
yeah, what's the one in San Diego where that house that's haunted?
Oh, is that where the oh my gosh,
The something house.
I've never been there, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like the is it the Winchester?
The Whaley House.
The Whaley House.
The
that's what
Whaley
it is.
House. Okay, so and a lot of these old houses have these where Taylor, what they did is they would make art out of hair.
Ew.
It's grotesque.
That's disgusting.
You go to these old like ghost houses or these these vintage houses, and they'll have like, this is how they decorated.
Oh,
you got to
no.
remember, like they didn't have access to fine art or anything, right? So they would make these like hair sculptures, and yeah, it's
That's what Brie Larson's like. This is my family.
yeah. That's
made
like
of hair.
yeah. I just see like her like it's a Larson family tradition, and so there's like these Larson
This
like
is cheddar. This is Swiss.
this is from cheddar. This is from Swiss. My great grandmother Gouda.
Aw.
Great grandmother Gouda.
Captain Canada says she walks out into a cornfield like Field of Dreams.
She just disappears.
And Cam says, just get a muzzle clause in the contract.
Or she just does no press release.
Chris Evans says, I love hearing Art's story of his life throughout the ages. I hope to hear about his work with Aristotle sometimes. Oh, I thought it was going to be a serious thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to do a Booming Out Loud where I kind of recount my cave painting days and my early sequential storytelling.
Last we stopped, it was when you first started working in New York. When you went there to, if you guys watched the last Booming Out Loud, we showed pictures, pretty cool, of New York, where we talked about how you got there seeking a job from Marvel and ended up staying there.
You know what?
It's a good story.
That is a good story.
That was the last one that we did, so we could pick up where you left off and continue in your early work in comics.
Yeah, you know, I've seen some shit.
Especially the 90s.
In the 90s. The 90s were, you know what? The 70s, 80s, and 90s, they were all crazy. But 90s were crazy in a financial, like, rewarding way too.
The 90s seem more fun
yeah.
than now.
The 90s seem fun because, like, there was money in comics.
It's crazy now, but in, like, all the opposite ways.
Yeah. Yeah. 92. Oh, yes. Those were good years. That's the year Aladdin came out.
Let's see. Chris says, you've led a very interesting life, Art.
It's not over yet. I hope.
So
you notice the Aladdin, like, it leans one way and then the other? They almost frame into each other, the logos.
Oh, yeah. They're opposite, too, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting kind of sick of, I don't know about you, like, the logos having all this intricate stuff over it. Like,
oh, the texturing?
Yeah, there's so many trailers that just open with some kind of crazy intricate texture and then a zoom out of the font of the title just turning and revealing that it's on there.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw that was it the Batman movie where it flies into the logo and you don't know what it is. So it's like the trenches in Star Wars, you know, like they're flying in the trenches. So the camera's moving around and then the camera pulls back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the Batman logo.
That was cool, though.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw anything like that. But now every movie does that.
And it's always like Lord of the Rings. Remember how they had the rings spinning and you saw the little runes and then it like...
Yeah.
Like everybody does that. Captain Canada says, Art is the most interesting man in Comicsgate.
Ooh,
that's
thank
high
you.
praise.
I like that.
In my opinion, also.
Spread the word, brother. Spread the word.
That would have been a good name for a segment.
The most, and then they have me as that guy that sells the beard. Is it Dos Equis?
Yes, they replaced him.
Did they?
They replaced
him with Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I'm the most interesting man in comics.
They replaced him, and it's a younger guy, but he's still not like young. He's probably like early 40s, which is weird.
It has to be a slightly older guy because he's had to have lived a life, right?
Yeah, so I guess he can't be super young.
Like, if he's too young, it's like no one's going to buy it. It's like, what? We're going to talk about your high school years?
You're the most interesting man.
Your middle school?
I've only been a man for like 3 years.
I've seen some things. I've lived a life.
Gilbert Gottfried should play Cecil in the live-action Comicsgate movie.
Hey, Mike.
Oh my god, it'd be hilarious.
You know what? It's almost noon. We need to get some lunch. Thank you guys so much, and thanks for hanging out when we went off the rails on the crazy Aladdin, train here. I actually do think overall it looks pretty good. Somebody's got to do an edit without the musical numbers, and I think it would be better for me. So, do we have a parting shot, Taylor?
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for all the people joining us. We had a good turnout today. Don't forget to like the video. It helps the channel. Let us know your opinion on Aladdin, the 90s, Brie Larson walking off into the woods. We do read the comments after the chat is no longer live. So hit us up with your opinions. We always appreciate that. And don't forget... Oh no, our camera's glitching again.
Don't forget to buy this book. Yee.
This is Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too.
Let's really freak out the camera.
No, it can't handle it.
It can't handle the truth.
It can't handle
all this beauty.
All this content here. So Oodles of Doodles is available on the in-demand store along with Black and White. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, do that because there's only 200 copies. There's not 200 copies available anymore. We're over half sold out at this point.
Yeah, I think there's like 70 or 80 books left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, there's not a lot left. So go ahead. You can go to the campaign. You can get yourself a copy of the book. There's the print bundle B is the last one that we re-uploaded because it sold out so early. So it's back by popular demand if you want to get some of those print bundles.
I have to do my Vanna White.
So, thanks for sticking with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and support Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too.
Yes, thanks guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend too.